Hey, this is Jimmy. Who's this?
Jimmy Dore, this is Joe Biden.
Ah, Mr. President, good to hear from you. What are you up to, buddy?
Well, Jimmy, I'm glad you asked. I've been giving some of the most important speeches of my entire political career. Speeches that need to be spoken at this point in our history. And I'm glad to be the one speaking them.
I got it.
First, I addressed a graduating class at Howard University, where I boldly proclaimed that white supremacist extremist groups are the number one threat to our nation's security.
Yeah.
And then I addressed visitors to the White House for Jewish Heritage Month, where I decried the shocking rise in anti-Semitic incidents in our country.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying these statements have anything to do with you-know-who, or that I'm going to be tying them to him in any way, or that this timing coincides in any way with the run-up to the 2024 election. But,
But what?
Well, let's be honest, there never really was a second part of that sentence.
Oh, okay.
And Jimmy, in both those speeches, I made a point. I made it clear that it was the Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville in 2017 that solidified my decision to run for president. Donald Trump looked at that situation and said, quote, there were good people on both sides. Well, I looked at that situation and said, quote, not on my watch, Jack. I'm going to stop that shit.
Oh, I see you're contrasting yourself with Trump.
You better believe it. And wouldn't you know it, just the other day we got another reminder of the specter of white supremacy. It was a terrifying sight, Jimmy. Jimmy, this group called the Patriot Front marched through the National Mall of Washington, D.C., escorted by police officers who escorted them down into the D.C. subway where they vanished. It was a stark reminder of the darkness that Donald Trump has allowed to linger in his wake.
Is that so?
Yes. And these groups are getting more cunning. They're hiding their faces. They don't allow beards anymore and appear to all be in good physical shape. They are clearly learning from mistakes the white nationalists have made in the past when their slovenly, disheveled appearance counters the argument of a master race. They even all, Jimmy, listen, they even all had matching khakis and polo shirts. It's scary.
Yeah.
The fact that these men look different than any other white nationalist group we've ever seen sends a clear wake-up call and message, vote for me.
Yeah, the whole thing appears very suspicious.
Yeah, I agree. There's nothing more suspicious than white nationalism. And these high-profile racist incidents keep occurring.
There's no doubt that there are many racist elements in this country, and racist threats and acts of violence are horrifying. I agree.
I'm talking about this despicable paparazzi chase of Harry and Meghan.
What?
The Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Truly a national treasure, that couple. Of two nations.
Yeah.
The other night they were subject to a, quote, near catastrophic car chase through the streets of Manhattan by these vultures trying to take pictures of them.
First of all, Mr. President, that has been shown to be a gross exaggeration for publicity's sake. They were followed by photographers, but also the New York Police Department police cars were there for security. And second of all, how is that a racist incident?
Because Meghan is famously a woman of color. That's like their whole thing, man.
That's why the paparazzi wanted pictures?
Look, you can make anything about race if you try hard enough, Jimmy. Open your mind. But these are scary times. I've also just learned that Jada Pinkett Smith's docudrama Cleopatra has received a measly 2% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes. making it the lowest rated Netflix creation ever.
Is that true?
Yes.
Ah!
And Ms. Smith boldly called this out for what it was. Quote, white supremacy.
Yeah.
I mean, my God. Hasn't this poor woman been through enough already? I'll tell you what, Jimmy, I immediately watched that show so as not to be racist, and I gave it a good rating as an ally. Do you think Donald Trump watched Cleopatra? Hell no.
Sir, I'm sorry, but what all these things really have to do with anything?
Jimmy, wake up.
Jesus.
Wake up. Our nation is in a racism crisis. It's all related. The suspiciously incident-free march through the D.C. Mall. Harry and Meghan almost being murdered.
They weren't almost murdered.
Murdered. The Cleopatra show sucking ass. I mean, for real, it legitimately wasn't good. All of these point to the ever-present specter of hate in our country and how we need to combat it by voting for me.
Isn't this a cynical attempt to take what is a legitimate problem in our society and make it a political issue that goes in your favor? I mean, to smear all Donald Trump supporters as racists?
Yes.
Well, I appreciate your honesty then, I guess.
Jimmy, the waters have been tested. There's little or no pushback when you say that all Donald Trump supporters are racist. And besides, it's been shown time and time again that shaming people for their political beliefs are the best way to get them to change those beliefs.
Yep, never fails.
Jimmy, racism isn't going away. It isn't going to just magically disappear into the subway like the Patriot Front.
Yeah.
It's always going to be around. And if that is the case, we may as well use it to our advantage.
Well, I can't see anything that could go wrong with that strategy.
I agree. Or at least that's what I've been told by my strategists. I have to go now, but I want to make one thing absolutely clear to you and all your listeners. When this sketch comes out on YouTube, I will be publicly saying that this sketch is in itself racist. So put that in your pipe and smoke it, you far-right grifter.
Check out my new stand-up special, COVID Lies Are Funny, at jimmydore.com. Only $10. Become a premium member. We're going to be on tour in Northampton, Massachusetts, Syracuse, Cohoes, New York, Hartford, Los Angeles, Bakersfield, California, Baltimore, Maryland, and San Francisco, California. Plus, did we say Chicago? There's lots of stuff. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. See you there.